welcome. My name is Christina. Today I will be taking you through a 60-minute vinyasa sequence that will focus on grounding work and balancing work. We'll start together in a seated position. When you're ready, come into your mat to a comfortable seated posture. We'll begin to focus in on our breath. Finding a deep inhale through the nose. Exhaling out with the mouth. Flowing with this breath in and out. As you inhale, lengthening through the crown of the head. As you exhale, rooting your tailbone down to your mat. Finding your tallest seated posture. As you continue this breath, bringing your awareness to your intention today. Whether that's physical intention for your practice, emotional intention, intellectual. When you're ready, we'll bring the hands together to the heart with the breath in. On an exhale, find a gentle twist, taking the left hand to the right knee. Turn and look over the right shoulder. Breathing here, nice and tall, lengthening as you inhale, as you exhale. Putting a little bit of pressure on that knee as you twist. Take a breath in. On an exhale, we'll rotate to the opposite side. Right hand on the left knee, lengthening as you inhale. Exhale, twisting, looking over the left shoulder. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, coming back to center, hands on the knees. Take breath in, opening the heart, lifting the chin. Exhale, rounding the spine, drawing chin to chest. Maybe finding that flow one more time. Inhale, opening the heart. Exhale, rounding chin to chest. Back to center with the breath in and out. We'll make our way to the tabletop posture, and we'll continue from the seated cat and cow to our kneeling cat and cow. So hands are under shoulders, knees are under hips. And once you're comfortable in your neutral position, you can begin to flow with your breath, rounding the spine for cat, checking chin to chest, drawing the navel in. Exhale, shoulders draw back, heart presses through, tailbone lifts. And flow at your own pace between these two postures. When you're ready, coming back to a neutral spine. Then come back into child's pose. Press the big toes together, hips back towards heels, walking the hands out across the mat. Third eye or forehead comes to rest on your mat. A little bit of movement if you need to make space for the body. Remembering at any point in time you can come back to this posture during our practice. We'll find a little bit of a stretch in our child's pose, walking the hands to the right of the mat, opening up through the left side body. And then walking over to the left, opening up through the right side body. And back through center. Resting the third eye to your mat just for a breath or two here. And then from our child's pose, we'll come back to our tabletop, tuck the toes, and we'll come up and back for our first downward dog. Press into the hands, lifting through the heels, broad through the upper back, making space through the hands. Maybe finding a little movement in this first downward dog if that would feel good. Maybe deeply bending the knees. Or finding a nod or shake of the head. From our downward dog, we are going to come to a plank pose for our breath in. Exhale, coming all the way down onto the belly. And lifting up for a cobra. Press into the palms, lift the heart, shoulders drop back. Lifting here nice and strong. Draw those shoulder blades together and down the spine. And come back to child's pose. From your child's pose, we'll come back to our neutral tabletop. We're going to center the left hand under the nose. Inhale, opening through the right arm. Press into the palms. We're going to thread the needle. So bringing the right arm through and down, you can come down onto that shoulder. Resting here if that feels good to you. If you'd like, just resting on the bent elbow to modify. Or if it would feel better to flow, you can flow with your breath. Inhale, threading the needle, maybe tapping elbow or coming all the way down. And flowing with that breath. So a couple options here. Remembering whichever option you choose, that is what works for your practice today. And when you're ready, from either resting or flowing, you're going to open up one more time. And we will switch sides. Bringing the right hand under the nose, inhale, opening the left arm and thread it through. Again, you can rest here fully on that shoulder. letting the temple come to rest on your mat. Modifying, maybe tucking just on the elbow, or if you'd like, finding a flow with your breath, or a modified flow, elbow taps, or staying here in this resting posture, whatever is working for your practice today. On your next inhale, we'll open that up, whether you're flowing or resting. You come back to neutral. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and we're going to come back to our downward dog. Tuck the toes, press into the hands. Few deep breaths here, lengthening through that downward dog. And we'll meet at the top of the mat. You can step or hop forward into a forward fold. Releasing down. Maybe a little bit softer knees for this forced forward fold if it feels good. Hands can rest on your mat, or you can find opposite elbows. Few more deep breaths here. And release any tension in the upper back, shoulders, head and neck. Release the hands. On an inhale, lengthening, lifting halfway. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a breath here in and release. Make any little adjustments you need to for your first mountain pose. Maybe feet a little bit wider than hip distance, apart. Whatever feels stable and grounded for you here. Knees are stacked over ankles, hips are stacked over knees. Shoulders drop down and back. And if you need to, maybe a few shrugs on the shoulders to release any tension you may still be carrying from the day. Maybe heel, toe, rock to get yourself nice and grounded. Anything you need to do to get yourself 10% more comfortable. Feeling the strength of this posture. Inhaling, arms up. We're going to bring palms together. Interlace the fingers. Take a breath in. Exhale, little side bend. Inhaling up. Exhale, side bend. Floating with your breath. Side to side, just a few rounds. Coming back to center. Exhale, swan right down into your forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhaling down. Fingertips to your mat. We're going to step the right foot back, coming into a low lunge. Inhaling, arms up. Nice and stable in that low lunge. Hips are neutral. Arms extended, heart lifting. Option here if you need to have some support in your balance of hands on the block for your low lunge, or arms extended. Come into our half splits again. You can use the blocks and we'll extend that left leg straight but unlock, keeping your hip over your right knee. Again, using blocks, or if it feels good, fingertips to your mat. Keep the spine long. Coming forward into that low lunge, step back to plank. Take a breath here in. Exhaling down to the belly or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. And coming back to downward dog. Take a breath here in downward dog. In and out. Inhale that left leg out. Exhale, step to the top of the mat, maybe standing splits. And step the feet together. Release into your forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhaling down. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a breath here in and out. Inhale, reaching arms overhead. Exhale, swan neck down. Fingertips to your mat, stepping the left foot back and coming down into our low lunge. Again, option, hands to your block for support, or inhaling, arms overhead. Heart lifted, hips neutral. Exhale, bringing the hands down. Again, you can use your blocks, extending that right leg straight. Hands can stay here or to your mat if you feel comfortable. Keeping that hip over the left knee. Long spine. Bending into the right knee, stepping back to plank, holding here just for a breath in, exhaling down, chaturanga, or all the way down to the belly, inhaling cobra or upward dog, and coming back to our downward dog. Staying here for a breath in and out. Inhale that right leg up. Exhale, stepping the right foot to the top of the mat. Maybe standing splits if that feels good to you. And step the feet together. Release into your forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhaling down. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a breath in and release. Checking in with your standing posture. Make any little adjustments you need to. I find I don't always make it to the top of my mat because I have shorter legs. Sometimes that happens. Do what feels best to you. Do what's going to make your practice feel better for you today. From here, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, sinking into your chair pose. Tuck that tailbone under. Reaching through the arms. Breathing nice and strong here. Rounding through the feet. When you're ready, inhaling out, a little back bend if it feels good to you. Exhale and swan back to your forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, release. Fingertips to your mat. We're going to step the right foot back. We're going to come up to our warrior two. So windmilling the arms out. We are pressing into the outer edge of our right foot. Bending through that left knee. Shoulders are floating down away from the ears. Bridging the shoulder blades together against the spine. Feeling that strength in our warrior two. On an inhale, we're going to reverse our warrior, letting the right hand drop back to the thigh, bringing that left arm overhead. With a strong bend. Unwind the arms. We're going to lengthen through that left leg. Reach through the left arm and take it down into our triangle. Bringing your hand inside of that left foot. Shoulder blades come together as you reach that right arm skyward. Unwind, windmill arms up, big stretch, and bending back to our warrior two. We're going to find a little balance in our half moon, so maybe taking a small step forward with the back foot, bringing the hand down to the mat, and lifting that right leg up and out for balance, meaning the hand comes to the hip. We'll cartwheel the hands down, stepping back to our plank. Take a breath here in. Exhaling down, chaturanga, or all the way to the belly. Inhaling, upward dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhale, left leg out. Exhale, step to the top of the mat. Maybe half splits with that right leg. And step the feet together. Release into your forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, release. Inhaling, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a breath here in and out, release. Make any little adjustments you need to. We'll inhale, arms up, overhead. Exhale, sinking back into your chair pose. Tucking that tailbone under, reaching through the arms nice and strong. Rounding through the feet. On an inhale, standing up. Maybe a little back bend if it feels good. And swan dive back into your forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, release. Fingertips to your mat, stepping the left foot back. We're coming up to our warrior two on this side. And bend through the right knee. Shoulders drop down the back. Excuse me. Tailbone tuck under. Nice and strong here. On an inhale, reversing your warrior, left hand can drop back to the thighs, the right arm lifts. Unwind back to warrior two. Inhale, lengthen the left leg straight but unlocked. We'll reach through that right arm, right leg, right arm, and tip down to triangle. From here, finding our balance, we take a small step forward, bringing your hand to your mat or to your block, lifting to your half moon. Maybe the hand comes to rest on the thigh. Hands cartwheel down to the mat when you're ready to release, stepping back to plank. Take a breath here. Exhaling down to the belly or chaturanga. Inhaling cobra or upward dog. Exhale to downward dog. Inhale that right leg out. Exhale, step to the top of the mat. Press and lift to standing splits or step the feet together. To your forward fold, release. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale down. Inhale, reaching arms overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Take a breath here, in and out. Make any little adjustments you need to. Making yourself 10% more comfortable for your practice today. Inhaling, arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive down to your forward fold. Fingertips to your mat. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, release. Step or hop back to plank. Take a breath here, in. Exhaling down, chaturanga or to the belly. Inhaling, upward dog or baby cobra. And meet back in our downward dog. From our downward dog, we're going to come to our reclined pigeon pose. First on the left side, so lifting the left leg. And bend the knee, open that hip if it feels good. And we'll bring the left knee towards the left wrist. Let the shin come down to rest. And let the right leg come down as well. Now, Couple of options in our reclined pigeon. One, to use our block underneath that right hip for support, especially if your splits are a little high here. That might keep your hips a little bit more level, a little bit more comfortable, so you're not coming down deeper than what you intend. Or if reclined pigeon is not in the cards for you today, not something you want with your practice, bringing your leg around, coming to a seated posture, or bring the left foot across the right knee, coming down to our reclined figure four. Remember to do what feels most comfortable for your practice today. In your pigeon, if you are practicing, maybe coming down to elbows or stacking forearms to make a pillow for the head. From either posture, we will transition to the other side. So making your way back to a downward dog. So from pigeon, you can tuck the toes and lift. From your reclined figure four, coming to your tabletop, to your plank, and back to downward dog. We'll find our posture on the other side, lifting that right leg up, bending the knee, maybe opening the hips if it feels good. And coming to pigeon on this side, bringing the right knee to the right wrist, and coming down onto the left leg. Again, option to use a block under that hip if your splits are a little high here in pigeon, and then coming down to rest on the forearms, making a pillow for the head, or coming to our figure four, so come to seated. Bring that left leg around, right ankle across the knee, and scooting yourself back to reclined posture, and bring the legs into the body. Finding whichever variation feels best for your practice today. From either your pigeon or your figure four, we're going to come to a seated posture. So coming up from your figure four, bringing both legs around, or unwinding the legs from your pigeon, bringing both legs out in front of you. Make any little adjustments you need to, maybe moving the flesh, so that way you are grounded in your sit bones. We're going to bring both feet to the mat. We're going to find some variations of our boat pose. So, a couple of options for both arms extended and toes lift. Lengthening through the spine as if you're leaning against an invisible wall right behind you. Staying here. Or maybe playing with lifting one leg and then the other. You can alternate heel taps and play with movement. or both legs can lift. Finding whichever variation of your boat pose feels best for your practice today. When you're ready, inhale, lengthening up. Exhale, and we're going to roll back onto the spine. And maybe find a couple of rolls here. You can continue to rock and roll across the mat. If you'd like to, if it's within your practice today, coming up to our shoulder stand, rolling up, supporting the back. So you're on the back of the arms, spine is lifted, chin is locked to your chest. Staying here or coming to your plow pose, bringing maybe one leg and then the other, or both. Playing with what's comfortable for your practice today. And maybe it's just rolling along the spine and your ball pose, getting some movement there. Whatever works for you and your intentions today. When you're ready to come out, we'll roll back onto the back. We're going to find a little rest in our happy baby. So either staying in your ball if that's comfortable or bringing ankles out. Resting here in stillness, or you could again rock, this time side to side along the hips and low back. Back to center, hug the knees into the body. We're going to find a small twist. Taking the left hand across the knees, right arm comes down beside you, and let the weight of the body travel to the left. Over that right shoulder, moving away from the body. When you're ready, just to switch. Bringing the knees into the body, rolling back through the center. Finding your twist on the opposite side, bringing your right hand to the left knee. Letting the weight of the body fall to the right of your mat. Left arm down for support. Gaze away from the body towards that left hand. take this moment to find any pose or posture that would feel good to you. If you'd like to practice another inversion, or maybe just one last little bridge, before releasing yourself down. Taking your time to find any posture or movement that would feel good to you as we transition to the end of our practice. Take our last few minutes together to practice Shavasana. Should you need to leave, please do so now so that the rest of the class can enjoy these few minutes. For our Shavasana, a couple of options. Traditionally, you can stretch out both legs and arms, tucking the shoulder blades underneath of you, coming flat to your back. Some options, if you'd like to incorporate props, we do have bolsters and blankets. You can cover yourself with a blanket to be more comfortable for the temperature. You can use the bolster under the knees as you're reclining, which will help to alleviate any tension you may have in that low back. Again, really tuck your shoulders under to fully release to your mat. Taking your time to settle in to Shavasana. Once you're comfortable, you can flutter the eyes closed and begin to focus in on the breath. Settling into a slow and even breath through the nose. Continue breathing here, bringing your awareness to any thoughts, feelings or sensations that come to mind. Taking them in from a seat of non-judgment. Knowing you don't have to respond or process these things right now. You have nowhere else to be, and nothing else to do but to breathe. Your breath continues to slow and deepen. Taking notice of how you feel physically in this present moment. Noticing the breath, your heartbeat, the temperature of your skin. The feel of your body against your mat. Be bringing your awareness back to your intention for your practice. Slow and deepen the breath. Maybe bringing your awareness to any part of the body you're still holding tension. And sending the breath to that part of the body. You deepen your breath, you may start to bring movement back to the body. Maybe starting with fingers and toes. Or moving elbows and knees. Stretching and moving in any way that would feel good to you today. From your Shavasana, you may wish to roll to one side to ease your transition. From your practice. When you're ready, making your way back to a seated posture. Settling yourself in. Find a few last breaths together. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling out. I'm grateful to have shared this practice with you today. Namaste. Thank you all.